All right. Good evening. So we'll go ahead here and we'll give it a couple of minutes for some folks to join. So I don't know. I don't see anyone in the chat yet, but we'll give it a moment and let things kind of let it pick up a little bit. So yeah. So if you're out there and lurking around, just come in and say hi for a minute, and we can go ahead and get started. So yeah, so happy Tuesday night to everyone. Kind of a cold night here in Michigan, but I do think it's going to warm up a little bit going into the next few days, which is good. Um, so yeah, so a little bit of an announcement. Next week's stream, I am going to be doing a giveaway. I'm thinking I'm going to be doing like an Aquarium Co-op gift card and a Tropical Fish Co. gift card. So we'll go ahead and see what we can do with that. So I'll put that out there sometime this weekend. Been an interesting week in the sports world. Excuse me. If you're from Michigan, obviously the Sherrone Moore thing was kind of, I don't even know how to describe that. But as a Michigan alum, that was definitely kind of disappointing. So hopefully they get their stuff together, get that straightened out, and go from there. Yeah, the fish game will be kind of interesting tonight, depending on who joins. I think there may be some people that are kind of disheartened a little bit. Thank you, Zen. AV is good, so good. So I put this out on Fish Fam Link, so I don't know if the link didn't go through, but normal folks kind of aren't here, so interesting. So yeah, so thank you, Zenny. Yeah, I think kind of heading into that, I think we got a few folks online kind of lurking around a little bit, but yeah, so definitely some interesting lessons we're learning this week in the Fish Barn too. I think I kind of mentioned last week. I don't know if I don't know if I mentioned this last week or if the audio was bad, but the heater was not really working in the barn. Like I thought it was the thermostat, and kind of through investigation, it turned out to kind of be something different. But I did do. All right, there we go. We've got some folks now. So we've got Stan Pittman, Beddoes here. Welcome. MNC Aquatics, welcome as well. So good. I think maybe it just took a minute for kind of people to wake up or whatever. So I'll kind of restart that a little bit. So sorry about the repeat if you were already here. But yeah, so kind of noticed last week that the heater wasn't working. So thought maybe either the thermostat had worn out or the heater had worn out. Turned out it was neither of those. Kind of through a few trial and error exercises, figured out that it was kind of an issue with the junction box that was further up line. Because I'd kind of done a couple different things. I changed out the thermostat, didn't work. Changed out changed out the heater. I had an extra heater. That didn't work either. And so I'm kind of stumped. I'm like, why is, what's going on here, right? So I have an electrical tester. I have like one of those little plug-in things with the 3 lights on it. And it said the neutral was open or something like that, like bad neutral or whatever. And so, which is, for those of you who don't do electricity, that's the white wire. And I'm like, why is this not working? So I was like, and I'm like, the junction box has been there for years. Right, and so yeah, I'm sitting there. I'm kind of stumped, and I'm like, and then I kind of came up with an idea because we had a very brief power outage last Wednesday ish. So yeah, so that kind of it only lasted literally like 2 or 3 hours, and the fish barn's fine for 2 or 3 hours. But power outages in the winter are kind of like the kryptonite for the barn. Like any other time of the year, it's fine, fall, spring. But the winter, no MNC, it's not 230 volt. It's normal 20 amp wire. So yeah, so I'm so I kind of, that was in the back of my mind too. And I kind of, as I was going through it last week a little bit, kind of decided to make a little bit of a change. And then, it was kind of like, maybe instead of doing a thermostat and the heater, maybe I'll do a plug-in heater, which is the same thing as kind of the heater I had anyway. 'Cause the Stiebel Eltron was, I'm getting there. I'm making it a very long story, but yeah. So I decided to do a plug-in heater, and I decided to kind of change the junction box, which was just the wires twisted together, and make that like an outlet too. So I can test it and see if there's any problems with like the breaker or anything, which is a more involved aspect where I'd have to take tanks down and do things like that, which I don't really want to mess with right now, at least in the winter. So in the meantime with that though, the temperatures here were pretty cold last week. Highs were maybe in like the 20s or so. Lows were in like the teens. No worries, Zen. I'm sorry. But yeah, so what I really learned though is that the fish were fine. I had no dying fish. Nothing was wrong. Everyone was normal. With, the other heaters and things that are going on in the barn, to where it was almost, it's not, I'm not going to say it's not needed because it's definitely better with the heater. But I kind of learned that, I guess how close or like how low could I go, right? If the heater died and I had no heater in there, it was pretty good to notice that the fish weren't really doing poorly at all. So that kind of gave me solace as well. So long story short, in the interim, we did have a couple days towards last week, like Saturday, Sunday, where it was getting like 5 degrees for a low, and I'm like, I don't really want to go without a heater, and I hadn't completely fixed the electrical outlet yet. So I had a backup heater that I have in the house that I use in case something really went bad in the barn. And I'd kind of forgotten about it, honestly, because I've never had to use it. And I think the thermal mass in there is pretty efficient anyway. Like MNC is saying that the amount of thermal mass should stay warm for quite a while. Yeah, it stays warm with the thermal mass. And there's other electrical things adding heat to the barn, right? There's heaters in a lot of the downstairs tanks have heaters just because of the flow of air. Obviously hot air rises, and it's not really a great. I wish it was a one-story building. Like that's the one thing I kind of despise for a multitude of reasons about the barn, is that it's a 2-story building, so it's harder to manage like heat and air conditioning and things like that. So it's a little bit more difficult. But yeah, there's enough thermal. I do keep heaters in those downstairs. A lot of those downstairs tanks, if they're like a tropical type fish, just to be safe, because the upstairs is kind of perfect. The downstairs kind of varies a little more. So I try to keep that a little bit, on the down low a little bit, kind of vary it a little bit. And I know I'm making this a very long story. So that's kind of what I learned, right? It's like the thermal mass will keep it warm to a pretty low temperature, and that's something that I was pretty excited to learn. Going back to the electrical story, so with the power outage that we had kind of had, it kind of sat in my mind again, and I'm like, you know what? I should probably put outlets in these instead of the thermostat, and then buy a heater with a thermostat in it. Like the backup heater that I have doesn't have a thermostat. It has like a bar that you can do up and down, and so it doesn't really give you what a temperature is. So I ended up buying a plug-in heater. I'll show it to you guys when we go out to the barn. There's one thing I'm disappointed in with it that I'm not going to say angry about, but it was kind of a raw deal. But it was like $85 on Amazon. It's a 1,500 watt heater, same as the ones that I had before. And I figured, with a power outage, if I ever had to, I can plug that into a generator, and that way, if I ever get in that situation to where I need to heat the barn, if we don't have power, and I have access to a generator, that I can plug that into a generator, and I can still heat the barn. So that was something that was always kind of the one thing that was kind of a fail. Like I've got multiple backups of things, like water and things like that. Like if pipes freeze, or like if the water line freezes, and which has happened before. Like I can get water out there and stuff if I have to. It's not ideal and pleasant, but I can do it. But this kind of was like the one thing that was kind of like the Achilles heel of the whole of my whole plans in the barn was if the power goes out in the winter, how do I heat the barn? You know, I mean, I know they sell those Vevor diesel heaters. I'm not really excited about putting diesel in there. You know, I'm not, propane, yeah, maybe. Like I have 2 large propane tanks that I bought in case I ever wanted to go that way. I found them on sale at Menard or at Lowe's for like, I don't know, it was like $30 a piece or something. So I have 2 40-pound propane tanks, not full, but so yeah. So that was a kind of an interesting lesson, and I was pretty happy to learn that, and it was really, it was really good. So what I ended up doing is I ended up, once I rewired, both the junction box with an outlet and rewired I went out and bought a new box, redid the whole thing, redid all the wiring, wired an outlet to that, and wired an outlet for the new heater because I wanted it all on one circuit, right? I didn't want to put it on another circuit, overload it, and have other problems. So I ended up doing that. I ended up hooking it back up, rewiring it, and everything's fine. So I think, I don't know, maybe just with humidity or moisture or something got in there and something went bad on it, or I don't know. So like I said, I've not touched it since I've built the barn-ish, put the barn together anyway. But yeah, so it kind of just worked out. And I'm kind of happy with this new setup. So I got the heater running in there. It runs pretty well. Pretty happy with it. The fan's pretty decent on it, which is something with some of them, like if you buy these, kind of electric-ish space heaters, they don't, a lot of them, the fan is not really great, so it's kind of weak. But yeah, I went through. Everything works fine now. First time, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, I wired it correctly. Like I know I was like kind of tearing my hair out a little bit. I'm like questioning myself, right? So I'm like, I wired this right. So I don't know if maybe it just got moisture in it and it caused it to kind of not work as well, maybe got in the way or something. I don't know. But anyway, I redid it, fixed it. It works better now, and yeah, we're good to go. It took me way longer than it should have, but I finished that Saturday. The new heater came Sunday, and everything works, and it's good. The heater's got a little thermostat on it. The one thing I was not happy about is it says it has an app, and so you can go. It said it wanted you to download this smart home app, and this stupid app wanted you to pay money, to do what basically like Amazon Alexa does. So it's like I'm not paying you like, I don't know. I mean, it was not terribly expensive, but I'm like, I'm not paying you to do Alexa stuff. Like I don't need it that bad to where I have to control this thing from an app. So it has a remote to it too, which I'll probably lose. I'll be quite honest about that. But yeah, so that's kind of my story. Other fish things kind of went on this weekend, or this week anyways. We had our club banquet. That went well. I had a nice dinner. There's the guy that's president of the club. He has a he used to work at and has a pretty good relationship with this restaurant called this banquet hall called Pennis. They have really good food, so that was good. Yeah. Other than that, there were fish there that you could get. I ended up actually this year getting food. I think there's kind of a point of graduation where sometimes you want to take the fish food instead of taking like the fish. If it's like there weren't like, he's not going to have, they're not going to have crazy rare live bears there, right? So I'm kind of like, you know what? I'll just take the fish food. And so that's what I did. And I'm pretty happy with that. So, but the big was good. There were some nice fish. There was a lot of Cory cats, some other stuff there too. Tetras, things like that. So yeah. Friday is going to be my last day of work, so I do want to spend the couple weeks that I have off doing some things like YouTube videos. I got to spend some time in the barn cleaning some things up. I got to go through all the equipment and stuff and kind of see what I want to keep and things like that, and kind of random stuff like that. But I do want to. I have a couple of videos I want to make. May want to spend some time on the stream too and see what we've got going on there too. So with that, I think we should go. Yeah, so the banquet, Beto was asking, the banquet was like the Christmas party for the club. Yes, they have, we'll call it a biannual, they have two banquets, which my opinion is a little bit overkill, but I think that's going to be discussed at the next board meeting. I think there's some push maybe to have one banquet a year. But yeah, they have it. They have a Christmas party, which is the banquet, and then they have a second banquet in June, where they do all the awards. Because the club runs on a kind of a weird schedule. It runs on almost like a school district schedule, where it runs on, what do I want to say? It runs on like from like an August to June sort of school district type schedule, and so like the season for like Breeders' Award points and things like that goes to is finished in June. So by May you have to have all your stuff in, and then but it's kind of I've mentioned this before in our board meetings, where I think it would be good to change the season to a calendar based season instead of like the school year based as it kind of is now. We'd have to do something like have either a short season or like an extra long season, like an 18-month season, to kind of like reset everything a little bit. But I think that would be better. And then I kind of was, because our president had mentioned about having one banquet. And I'm like, yeah, like if we do one banquet, you can have the Christmas banquet be the awards banquet, be all the things at one time. So that way you're not doing all the things, you know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes. That'll be an interesting discussion, I think. I think there'll be some, it's kind of an older membership of the club. And at times when you've tried to do new things, there's been some resistance. I've been very vocal in pushing things forward in terms of technology, things like that, like auction.fish, things like that. I've gotten a fair amount of resistance in the past to change, but we'll see how this goes. And it's kind of happy that I'm not the one doing it this time, so someone else has an idea. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and we'll jump into the fish game and see how that's going. It'll be interesting. I haven't seen Steven on tonight, but I think he would have some strong opinions about some things in the fish game. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and we'll flip the screens here, and we'll go ahead and play the fish game. So, all right. So here's the fish game. It's Are They Basic? It's basically a non-fish keeper's view of all the fish we keep. Speaking of Chelsea, she is back home. She came back Thursday night. Thursday? Yeah, she came back Thursday. So it's been good to have her home. She's been kind of working at Hollister, kind of hanging out, doing her thing. So it's good to have her back for a while. But she rated these fish. It'll be very interesting to see how you guys feel about her ratings. I'll put it that way. So with that, just to kind of explain it to anyone who's new, I'll show you a picture of the fish, and then you have to guess in chat whether they're basic or not, between 1 to 10, 1 being basic, 10 being cool. As I've always said, I think this is a very good way to kind of gauge non-fish keepers' view of our fish. So with that, without any further ado, we'll go ahead here and go ahead with the first fish. We have the Bellasonics here. Not the greatest picture in the world, but we'll see what she has to say about that and what you guys think she said. So Beto's got 5. Zen's got 6. Davo's got 7. So, see, we don't have a whole lot of people here tonight. So, yeah, Beto, that's an aggressive one. That one, someone told me, I've not gotten them to breed yet, but someone said that for the fry, you actually have to separate each individual fry, or else they'll start eating each other, which I 100% expect. I had accidentally put these in a shrimp tank. I mean, they had kind of not the highest grade shrimp in the world, and these made very short work of them. They ate those shrimp in about 4 to 5 hours. They devoured every one of them. There was no escape. And they're a good fish to have, like if you want to cull something that's kind of funky or whatever. So definitely a pretty aggressive one. So with that, so I think we'll give it a couple more minutes here and let people guess if anyone else wants to guess, or a couple more seconds, I mean. So with that, kind of going once, going twice. We'll go ahead and we'll flip that over. And 5 out of 10. So Beto got that one. So Beto says, "Dang, you should have taken all the shrimp that I left on the auction table." I mean, I could have, but I mean, I don't. I mean, I feed them. A lot of people say you have to feed them like live guppies and stuff. I've had pretty good luck with Vibrobites. They seem to like Vibrobites. They kind of go crazy for those. Like bloodworms. I fed them the co-op freeze dried bloodworms as well. They seem to like that as well. So, all right. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We got the sailfin molly here. Pretty fish. These are again from the Keystone Clash Fish Show. So let me know what she thinks of this. Yeah, everything likes Vibrobites. Yeah, I've had pretty good luck with that. They kind of didn't like the extreme one, but then they kind of they seem to eat it a little bit more now. So they've been they were a little picky, but we'll see. So we've got you got Beto and Zen have 8. Davo's got 7. Yeah, so we'll kind of hang for a minute here. We'll see. Give it a couple seconds here to see if anyone else wants to guess. So go ahead and put your guess in if you want. Going once, going twice. We'll go ahead and flip it over here. 6 out of 10 rating for that. So Dave was closest with 7, but pretty close. You guys were pretty close on that one. Next one. Now we're going to have fun. So this is the Melanitania sextilineata tabubil. So we'll see what you guys have to say about this one. So hello, Lake Missoula. Welcome. He says, will knife live bear... Beto's asking, will knife live bearers and guppies successfully breed? I don't think they'll cross because they're different genus. Like, they're a different genus. But you may have issues with the knife live bearers eating the fry, in my opinion. So that's kind of what I'm kind of thinking there. So So, all right. So we've got Beto and Dave have 8. The Zen Ginger has 3. Yep. And then Shy Savage Cichlids is here. Welcome. I think that's a new name. So welcome to the stream. Yes, Dan. This one and another one are ones I think Steven would have very strong opinions on. So let me. We'll give it another couple seconds here to. For anyone else who wants to throw their hat in the ring here. So anyone else want to kind of hazard a guess? Going once, going twice, 4. So Zen was closest with 4. So definitely kind of low. That's not what I would rank that, but to each their own. All right, number 2. This is the Melanitania Pagua Finis, which is the one that I currently have in the barn. It's a little washed out in this picture. Definitely looks better in my own fish tank, but we'll let you guys guess on this one. And after I flip the ranking over, I'll let you guys guess. I have a little idea that I'm going to say once we're done. All right, so we've got Beto's got 7, Zen's got 5, Shy Savage Cichlids has 6, and Davo has 2. So we'll give you guys another couple seconds if you want to join and go ahead and put a guess in here. We'll give it a couple seconds. Going once, going twice. Sold. 2 out of 10. So Davo got it. So my little idea is to go in the barn, since this is my fish, and get another picture of this fish in the barn when it's colored up and see how she ranks it compared to this one. So yeah, so she did not like this one at all. So yeah, it's kind of washed out. It looks better. Like I'll show it to you in the fish barn when we go in there. So yeah, I mean it traveled all the way from Michigan to Pennsylvania, so I don't blame it for being washed out. So all right, next one. Fancy Swordtail. So let me know what you guys think of that one. So Davo's got 9, Zenny's got 9. Yeah, they're like lyre tail. Yeah, Shy Savage. These are taken from at a fish show, so they could be very well a little bit stressed out. So got 3. Give anyone else a couple of seconds here to go ahead and join in. Going once, going twice. We will go ahead and flip it over. She gave that one a 6. So Beto, I think, was closest to the 7. So I think we got one more. Nope, that was the last one. So, all right. So to save everyone, kind of like the whole barn fiasco that we've had the last couple weeks, we're gonna go ahead and try the the barn cam, and I'm actually going to turn the audio on my computer, so you may hear some echo, but I'm gonna save us a little bit of trouble this time and put the barn cam on and see what we got. So we'll put me up here first, so you guys can see that. So, and then, yeah, we'll go ahead and put the barn cam, flip it over, and then I am going to turn my sound on for just a second. So if you guys hear an echo, don't be discouraged, and I will fix it immediately once I've got confirmation. So. All right, looks like we should be good. So I am going to flip it over for real now. And we'll go ahead, hop in the barn, and we'll go through some of the stuff I tried to show you last week, and go ahead and talk to you about the heater a little bit more and things like that. So I'll show you the project itself. So. I'll be right back. All right, I think we should be good. But if I can get an AV check, I'd appreciate it before we kind of go ahead and jump into this. So, yeah, so hopefully you guys can hear me. I'll move this over. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, so we'll go ahead here and head downstairs. I'll show you the heater, and then kind of talk about some other things that were going on here. So. So what I kind of wanted to show you last week is I'll go through some of the Chicago fish again too that I picked up. One of my goals for this is to kind of finish clearing this fry rack out. There's some fish I want to put in here. So I know I showed you these guys last week in silence, but these are the metallic chocolate. Oh, it was like the chocolate blue green metallic balloon mollies. So you guys see those guys again. Probably gonna move those to a different tank, but they're staying there for now. So we're gonna grab a seat and show you this. So this is the new heater. This is the Give Best heater. And then this was the outlet. This used to have the thermostat in it, but it's converted it to an outlet. So, you know, if you hit the button here, it'll show you kind of the temperature. I don't have to run this very hot. I had it started at like 72. It kind of never got there. So decided to leave it here at like 60. I think I set it to like 64. Let me see what we get. Now, if you can set it like just like this. And the temperature here is pretty good. Like the fish are fine. Like I'm comfortable in here. You know, it kind of feels, you know, typical, you know, how your house feels kind of in the winter. So I don't need to put it up to like 80 or anything crazy. So, because it does get expensive to run. But the one thing I don't like, and I said this before, is like you can put this up to this app, but you have to pay money like per month for the app. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. You know, for something in the fish barn. And then just so you can see it, this down here is kind of the backup heater. I haven't hauled it back in the house yet in the snow. So this kicks out quite a bit of heat, actually, this little Kenmore heater. So yeah, so that's kind of the heater situation. Like I said, this is the plug. We head back over here. I'll show you where the kind of the problem was. So this had a metal box in it before, but I redid this with this plastic box, and had a little junction box in it, so I fixed it. I got to go tack the wires up a little bit. I'll do that sometime when I'm off if I remember. And then since we're here, I'll show you the rainbow fish. So there's the rainbow fish in like real life. I think it was this one was the one I brought. But yeah, see, these are all pretty full-size, girthy. They're not the prettiest ones. But yeah. And then kind of a preview to some upcoming videos. I'm going to do something with this tank. This is one of my goals over the holidays too. And I'll film a video on this, full-length video. I've got some plants coming tomorrow from the co-op that I will use to kind of start this, and we'll pull the valve out and pull out all the hair algae and stuff like that that's kind of matted itself in here. So we'll redo this and see how it goes. So yeah, I'll show you what other Chicago find too. Is the big derpy goldfish here. So this is the goldfish tank. Doing well. And then I'm going to probably move these rainbows. I might put them in with the Islay that we just saw, or I might put them somewhere else. But these guys look pretty sweet in the at night. And then these Melanitania Kalitawa, I need to probably move somewhere too. So, anywhere else? Let's take a look. So I do want to show you, this tank's already got hair algae in it. But these are the knife live bearers I picked up. Beto gave me one of them, and it's in here. I got two in Detroit at a swap, and then went to Chicago and got the rest of them. These are the Alodanthes Tamazule that I picked up. These are the fish that I was looking for. So, and then, yeah, that's kind of it for that. For Chicago, I think. I couldn't think if there's anything else. I think I've shown you the majority of the Chicago fish. But yeah, it's going to be generally some basically a lot of tank maintenance stuff. I'm not going to be able to redo all the tanks, and that's not really the plan. It's kind of a, this fish room is kind of a slow burn, right? It's like you kind of redo things as they come. I'm going to sit here for a second, though, because I want to show you guys something else, too. And there's a fish that's a cichlid that's holding in here. And it was out a minute ago, and now it's gone. She's coming to the front now. So she's in the back, like right, OB Peacock, kind of in between all the val. So we'll let these other guys kind of filter through. Yeah, she's hanging out in the back. So, but I may try to strip her. I mean, catching her out of this big 245 gallon tank might be an undertaking that I may not want to do, but we'll see. Since we're here, we'll do an update on the on these guys. These are the green Gidea, the Xenophorus captivus. Kind of small. I got a bunch of fry. They're growing up quite nicely, actually. They put on quite a bit of size. So pretty happy with that. Hopefully we'll see some more in the near future. Obviously, I think we talked about the losses with some of the adults. So that's unfortunate, but hopefully we'll get some others going here. So, and I might move the rainbow fish into this tank with the swords. I think that might be kind of a nice little display. Oh, hold on. I'll let you guys see the female now. She's clearly holding. But like I said, catching her might be an undertaking. I would like to BAP these if I could. Because I don't think I've BAP'd these. I'd have to look at my list. But I don't think I've done a peacock. And in our club, for whatever reason, peacocks are worth like 15 points. Don't ask me why. I tried to fight it at one point, and it ended poorly for me. So we won't go there. So kind of back to my comment earlier about the club and kind of resistance to change. So, other than that, we'll flip around here, and I'll show you the Cyprochromis again. So hopefully we can get, this is coming along as it should. Summertime. I don't think I have any holding females right now. I think they've sort of petered out their holding for the winter. That's kind of normal for them. They normally don't hold during the winter, which is fine. Like, it gives them a break, lets them eat, lets them recover a little bit. So that's not something I get too stressed about. Kind of happens for a lot of the fish here, actually. It's kind of a good point for them to rest, kind of recover, and then, once the springtime kind of kicks in, it warms up a little bit in here. We can we can see breeding again. So, but this is a fun tank. I built that background myself out of spray foam. It's lasted probably at least 4 years by now. So, yeah, you can see some of the smaller ones in here. So yeah. See anything else I want to show you guys? These tanks might be another summer project. I might tub these. I've been thinking about this maybe for next year, like lowering these 240 breeders down too, because there's not a lot of room up there if you look up there. So this might be another summer project to lower this group of 40 breeders down. Um, Other than that, let's head upstairs and see anything else I want to talk about. All right, so let's see what we got for questions. Yeah, I gotta fix the bubbles. I saw that Zen with the bubbles. I gotta fix that. That's one of the things I'm gonna fix. I've got to clean out the co-op air the tube. Um, so yeah, Beto's asking, did the left side of the libraries do any breeding? No, not really. Um, I think there's still two in there. We'll go over to that tank here in a second, but I think there's still two in there. There's plenty of guppy grass now, so maybe something bred, but that didn't seem to do too well. I'll have to talk to Curtis at some point, see if I can get some more. But yeah, that's kind of been kind of a disappointment. Not everything works. Kind of unfortunate, but since we're over here, this tank needs to be cleaned a little bit. But I'll show you the adult Alodon Ichthys Tamazule, which is these are all the males. So hopefully by like tubbing season, I can get those other smaller fish downstairs grown out and get these guys ready to rock and roll. So, let me see. We'll show you the Jaguars real quick. So they're in here in this mess of stuff. I did see one of them the other day. So, we might have to just check on them, make sure there's not like a singular fish kind of situation. Yeah. That kind of sometimes this happens in here, like especially in these tanks like this, like you could lose the entire colony and just keep feeding it, and then you've got all kinds of stuff. So I might clear this out and see what I've got. Yeah, one thing I'm going to have to do, I think, is check out like these guppies. I think these are all males, so there's no reason to keep them. I might have to get rid of those. And then I do want to look at these dwarf Mary widows and kind of see. This is another one that's kind of been, I've seen them breed. I've seen fry in here. I just got to check out and see what actually is still kind of hanging around. So, you guys got any other questions? So Sutton Roads. All right. So Sutton Road Aquatics is just made it, getting ready for work. Shutting the fish room down for the night, filling the wood stove. I hope you're all doing good. So. No, I've not really had babies of the Star Sapphires. I've not seen any holding females in there. I might have to pull those out, and that's another one I'd pull out and see if I can at least raise a group of. for some BAP points. So, let me see. So Beto likes the Merry Widows. Yeah, I like those too. They're just kind of, that's a fish I need to put in a smaller tank. They're in a 20. It's just too big. That's one of the reasons I started setting up the 10 is I want to put um, some of the smaller fish in like smaller tanks. This is they get kind of lost in that 20 gallon. So yeah, I've been just kind of going through kind of the wintertime sort of activities around here. This building is actually very pleasant in the winter. It's actually a great time to do work in this building in the winter. The only sad part is the snow, so it makes it a real pain in the neck to do stuff with wood and do stuff outside, etc. So, so yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to show you guys. I just kind of wanted to give you. I did do one other thing actually. Now that we're thinking about it, I did clear out some of the hair algae out of this Zoo Geneticus tequila tank. I do have to trim down that dwarf sage in the back, and it's gotten way too tall. And then I'll have to add some more light. So we got that. Let me try to think about what haven't I shown you guys in a while. Trying to think of what I haven't shown you recently. I got one. Hey, I see Catahulas, welcome. Glad you can make it. So, these guys have been really doing well. These are the Stack Endlers, Basilia wingeye. There's a ton of babies in here. I don't know if the camera's picking them up or not, but those have been doing pretty well. This is one I want to check on too. These are the Heteroandria formosa that I got at the Clash. Maybe there's some babies in there for those too. That's not one I've VAP'd either. So, that's kind of it. So, how large do those blue-tailed Gideids get? Beto's asking. What's that? Let me grab the comment above that. I overfilled my aquarium tonight, and I spilled on my power strip. And when I went I went to plug it back in. Basically, got his entire hand electrocuted. Yeah, that's not fun. I did that. I'll tell you guys a story from long, long ago. In the days I was doing saltwater, I had big Rubbermaid tanks of sumps. And the heaters I had in there were like 400-watt glass heaters. And I had some rocks in there. And unfortunately, one of the rocks had fallen over and broken the glass on one of the 400-watt heaters. And then when I used to feed fish like frozen food and stuff, I would put my hand in there with a cup. And I put my hand in there. And I will tell you that I wish I hadn't. I didn't get thrown on the floor, but it definitely shattered my teeth a little bit. And that's not something I ever want to do again. So yeah, definitely be careful with the water and electricity part of that. They don't mix well. So I haven't gotten shocked in a long time, and thankfully I hope I don't ever do it again. So I mean, part of that's buying good equipment, part of that's just kind of being smart. Some of it's just like stuff happens, right? One thing I could tell you is maybe if you can mount, I don't know what your setup looks like, but if you mount all of your stuff up high, like for example, like I'll show you here, like all the power strips up here and the electrical, it's all high, right? It's all up in the top. There's no plugs like down here in the bottom near the floor. That's kind of by on purpose. If you look over there, kind of the same thing, right? You can see them; they're all up in the ceiling. So, um, so that's kind of my recommendation on that. So, so with that, I think what we'll do is on our way out, I'll show the blue-tailed Gadaeus to Beto. We'll head on inside, kind of wrap up. I'll show you the nice snow path that I have. Hopefully, it warms up a little bit and we can get rid of the snow. But this is Michigan in the winter, so we'll see. So I'll see you guys. He will stop on the way to talk to show the blue-tailed Gadaeus, and then we'll go from there. So. All right. So, blue-tailed Gadaeus, I got two different groups. So this first one, this is these haven't been as big. These are from the LL Dewey Spring, but they get about 4 inches long or so. And then these guys have had a lot longer. You can see some pretty big ones in this group right here. This is not one I've shown you guys in this tank in a long time. This is the these are from Laguna Los Antiajitos. These are some big fish. They must be spawning in here too. You can see some of the smaller ones. I haven't seen smaller ones in here of these in a while. So that's kind of cool. So thank you, Beto, for making me come take a look at these, because there's some smaller ones in here. That's good to see. Yeah, I think that's kind of the I think that's kind of what we want to see tonight in the fish room. So. All right, so we'll head back in the barn in the snow, and it should be a nice, fun little trip. So, it's not as cold at night as it has been, so it's been kind of a relief. So this is the path. You can see the snow. It's pretty deep. Oh, you can't see. There's not enough light, but it's deep enough. It's not too icy, thankfully. Maybe you can see it there. That's fairly. That's on the ground. So it's a good 5, 6, 7 inches. All right, so we're back down in the basement. So, so Beto says, wow, they're larger than I thought. Yeah, they are pretty big. So, and then Sutton Road says he loves his blue tails. Yeah, they're fun fish. I like them. And then SC Catalhua says I'll be up there after Christmas. So the snow needs to stay so my daughter can play in it. That's fair. Like if you're not a snow person, that's fair. But after the holidays, it can go. So I guess that's kind of it. I guess I do have one last housekeeping item per se. And that's so when I hit 10,000 subscribers, I didn't know this, but apparently I can like tag products in my videos. So if you go to some of my recent videos, I've tagged a bunch of Aquarium Co-op products. I do support the co-op. I do think they do a lot of great stuff for the hobby. So if you click on that shopping link, go ahead and if you buy something from the co-op, I do get a small commission from it. So if you want to support the channel, that's a great way. If you're already buying from the co-op, I would highly encourage you to go check that out. You don't have to, no pressure or anything like that. But if you want to buy something from the co-op, check out the links to one of my videos. And if you want to buy something, you can go through that if you'd like. So thank you, Peblin, for the member super chat. Thank you for the membership. Definitely appreciate it for 11 months. I do need to make some icons and stuff. I need to get on the stick with that a little bit. So, yeah, so with that, I think we're going to go ahead and call it, unless anyone else has any questions. Thank you guys for joining. Next week, reminder, I'll be doing a giveaway. I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably let whoever wins. I'm going to do 2 winners. I'll probably do $50 each. And if, whoever wins, they can choose either Aquarium Co-op or they can choose Tropical Fish Co. So I'll go ahead and I'll get that set up, and then we'll go from there. So with that, have a great night, everyone. Happy holidays, and we'll see you next Tuesday night.